Tonight, I'll be chatting with one of the top poker players in the world, Tatiana Pasalic. We'll take you inside one of London's top casinos, and our pit boss champion Chris Ditchburn will give you a masterclass in spinning the roulette wheel. Now, there are over 100,000 members of Super Casino all over the United Kingdom, and last October we invited some of them to take part in a special live roulette tournament in Manchester. With a top prize of £5,000 up for grabs, here's what happened.
Held at the Manchester 235 Casino, spirits were high as 15 invited players prepared to play the 2009 SuperCasino.com tournament. We even had one couple celebrating their 34th wedding anniversary. Talk soon turned to tactics, but no one wanted to give too much away once the tournament began. Leading up to the final spin, Windsurfer was well in the lead. But on the final spin, Red 16, there were joint winners, Windsurfer and Lehman. They each took away £2,500 as well as a special SuperCasino.com trophy. A fantastic end to a terrific night.
Last year everyone had a great time and I was lucky enough to be there, so I know firsthand. Well, now we're launching the 2010 tournament. Later this year, for one night only, we'll be hosting the 2010 Super Casino Live Roulette Tournament at the Palm Beach Casino here in London. We'll bring 15 Super Casino members together and there's a total of £4,500 in prizes up for grabs. We'll run a series of heats during the evening and the highest winners will go through to the final table. 11 Super Casino members will be specially invited to take part in the tournament. But what about the remaining 4 places? Here's some exciting news. 2 of them are golden tickets, which will be hidden in existing player accounts, and the last 2 places have been reserved as wildcards. Over the next few weeks, we'll be giving you the details of how to apply for a wildcard place in the 2010 tournament. So keep watching Super Casino over the next few weeks to find out details of the wildcard promotions. Now, to be eligible for the 2010 tournament, you have to be a member of Super Casino, and if you're not already a member, it's really easy to join. Go online to supercasino.com and click on Play Now. Fill out the simple registration form and make a minimum deposit of just £20 into your new Super Casino account. It'll only take a few minutes. What's more, once you make that first deposit, you can take advantage of our first deposit bonus of up to 150%, which instantly gives you additional playing funds to play on supercasino.com. But here's a special offer for tonight. If you join and make the minimum deposit before 3 AM, we'll give you an extra £10 bonus. Here's a reminder, just so you completely understand it. You need to join Super Casino, that'll take you just a couple of minutes, and make your first deposit into your new account. You'll get our special first deposit bonus of up to 150%, and tonight, if you do all that before 3 AM, you get a £10 bonus to play on supercasino.com. And you can use that bonus to play on any of the games available on the website. You can check out all the terms and conditions online at supercasino.com. Now, if you'd rather speak to someone in person, no problem. We have operators standing by ready to speak to you right now. Just give us a call on 0800 1984 777. Calls are free from a BT landline, but other networks they may charge, and from mobiles the cost could be quite high. Whichever method you choose, joining will take just a few minutes, and if you make a first deposit, you can play for real and win for real. Deposit before 3 AM and you'll get that extra £10 bonus, so don't leave it until it's too late. If you missed any of those details, then don't worry, I'll be going through things again a little later. Now, if you just joined us, you're watching SC Extra. My name's Bryn, and still to come tonight, I'll be chatting to one of the world's top poker players. We'll show you around one of London's top casinos, and Chris Ditchburn will give us a masterclass on spinning the roulette wheel. But first, here's Gemma with our roundup.
The latest from the betting and casino world, brought to you in association with GX magazine. A German court has sentenced 4 men to over 10 years in jail for a robbery at the European Poker Tour in Berlin. 7 people were hurt in the raid in March this year at the Grand Hyatt Hotel, which saw the armed robbers get away with over €240,000 in cash. The 4 robbers, all aged between 19 and 21, were quickly discovered after they left evidence of their identities at both the hotel and a nearby fast food restaurant. But despite admitting to the crime, they are yet to disclose the whereabouts of the cash, with only €4,000 having been recovered to date. The World Poker Tour has been to the UK for the week-long London Classic. Here's a special report.
Hi, I'm Kara Scott at the Palm Beach Casino for the inaugural event, the WPT London Poker Classic. We had 171 runners for this event, and that means a top prize of over £250,000. Now, that means people are being very careful about what they're doing here. It's an awful lot of money. There are some frayed tempers out there as well. We've had a little bit of excitement down here, and of course everyone is very nervous, very excited, and hoping to win that top prize. I'm Kara Scott for the WPT.
And the winner of the WPT London main event was a 21-year-old from Rochdale. He pocketed a whopping £273,000. The former psychology student's having a great year. He won £706,000 in January at the European Poker Tour in Deauville. After months of anticipation, London's newest poker venue, the Fox Poker Club, looks set to open later this month. The club promises to be an impressive establishment for pros and amateurs alike to both socialise and play poker. If you want more information about any of tonight's stories, just go online to supercasino.com/extra. That's the end of this roundup, brought to you in association with the GX magazine.
Thanks, Gemma. Now, for all you poker players out there, it's time to meet our special guest. She's a poker player, a presenter and a blogger. It's Tatiana Pasalic. How are you?
Hi, I'm okay.
Now, go straight in with the questions. Where do you hail from?
Oh God, it's very complicated. I was born in Bosnia, but I grew up in Croatia.
Oh, and do you spend much time in England, in the UK?
I spend tons of time traveling, but I spend a lot of time here and in Croatia, so it's like I'm everywhere.
Split equally between the two, sort of thing?
Plus all the travels I do with the poker world, so kind of like split in three ways.
Where does poker take you then?
Everywhere.
Really?
I've been from the Caribbean to all over Europe, America, going to Asia this year, so it's pretty much
That's amazing.
global. Yeah.
So literally everywhere?
Yeah.
The world's your oyster.
I thought they're not going to go to Africa, but even now they've went there, so I think only like North Pole hasn't been touched.
Why not?
No penguins on playing poker.
Next year, North Pole, South Pole, that's where it will be. So how did you get into poker playing?
Oh, I was at the World Series of Poker in America 5 years ago, and I walked into the main event, 6,000 people were playing. I've never seen it before.
Right.
And I heard the sound of chips, which is like very, now it's completely normal to me, but when people hear it, they're like, what's that? And I just fell in love with it. And at that time, I was living in Denmark, and they had a complete online poker boom. I got interested in it, but I wanted to work in poker rather than play. So I kind of investigated how I can get in there. Then I started running a poker room in Croatia.
Right.
And after that, I went to Malta. I worked in marketing for an online company. And then I decided I want to travel with poker tours. So I just quit everything, took all my money,
Right.
started traveling and following poker.
And then started a poker boom everywhere by the sound of it?
I can't say I started the poker boom, but I really did start talking about poker back in Croatia and kind of like helped making it mainstream so people know what's happening, so people don't think it's just like a basement game with gangsters.
Okay. When you're playing then, which you've been doing for how long?
Just over a year.
Just over a year. It's quite a male-orientated game from my experience of poker.
It is.
So how do you find, playing with so many men? What's the...
Well, I was... First time I ever sat down with a bunch of men to play, I was quite intimidated because I thought, oh my God, I'm a girl, you know how it is. They're all going to be like, oh, what are you doing here? But I took a tip from my colleague, Kara Scott. She's a player. And she said, just be yourself, be nice to everybody, speak to everybody, and they're going to be nice to you. And it works every time.
You've never experienced any problems?
Never. Men are always nice to me. Every time I sit down at the table, they help me, they give me tips. They sometimes re-raise me too much so I get out of the pot. So they're like, don't do it. Like,
So they kind of help you in a way?
Yes.
Why is that? There must be a reason. What?
I think it's because I'm really open with everybody.
Right.
And people are bored. Sometimes they sit at the table for 6 or 7 hours.
Right.
Usually men are just sitting there staring and everybody's super serious. And then I show up with my babbling and I'm like, oh yeah, where you from? Oh my God, what you do? And this and that. And then eventually somebody finds it annoying.
Yeah.
But 8 out of 9 are going to be like, oh yeah, I'm from here, I've been there. And it's kind of entertaining, so I guess that's
And
why.
do you flirt with them?
That was one of the first tips that Kara told me.
To use it? Not to use it?
No. Because, well, first of all, I'm not going to flirt with somebody if I don't mean it. Secondly, I'm in a relationship, so it's not nice. And I don't allow it. No, I mean, it's not good because if I was to flirt with somebody at the table and give him wrong impressions, I think I would be abusing the person.
Right, okay.
And also, then everybody teams up against him because he's got a connection with me. So, I don't know, it's just wrong.
But you could maybe use it to eliminate players one by one, couldn't you, in a way?
There are some girls that do. But then you also have the counter effect of somebody, like, because you're not flirting with him and he's obviously a better player than you, could like use it against you and then knock you out, which is
okay. Now, on a website, you've recently been nominated the sexiest poker player of 2010. How do you feel about that?
I feel really flattered. I mean, it's a male industry, so it's not like there's too many women out there. So all of my colleagues are like, just my colleagues. I don't look at this as a kind of modeling world where everybody is super pretty and everybody's evaluating themselves. We sort of have different things we go for, but I'm very flattered, of course.
Well, and also, whilst we're here on that one there, you're in this magazine, GX magazine, the latest edition, the feature about females players, this month's edition. You've seen it, have you?
Yes.
It's actually on sale now as well, and I've had a brief flick, and it's a very good read, all right? Have you ever played in any female-only competitions?
Yes, I've played it a few months ago, and I was very scared when I sat down.
Really?
It was my first TV table.
Oh, okay.
One of the best players, one of the best female players in the world was doing commentary for my table.
Oh, I see.
And it was the first kind of the tournament. It's called Deep Stack Tournament, which means that we get much more chips than usually, which totally changed the tactics and everything.
Yeah.
So I sat down and there were some of the best players in the world. I was so scared that for the first like 2 hours I didn't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I was really, really out of my mind. But then I realized that I was friends with, during the tournament we had breaks, and then I became friends with 2 or 3 girls, and then we started like sort of keeping out on each other and being like giving little signs of like.
Thank you very much. Right, and thank you very much, Tatiana. We'll be speaking to you a little bit later on, of course. Now then, Tatiana's going to be back later on, but now here's Chris Ditchburn to give you quite literally the inside on the game of roulette.